Hey, how are you all? I hope you're well. So here is a couple of quick releases for the upper back, shoulders and neck. Some of my go-tos when I'm feeling a little stiff and uncomfortable for poses that help relieve it. So let's start here. Now we're going to start in a child's pose. So your feet can be slightly apart and knees a little bit apart too. So then you're going to sit your bottom back onto your heels. Now, I just want you to be aware that if this isn't something that you can do, you can add a couple of yoga blocks so that you can sit a bit more comfortably here and then lean forward. Okay? So remember that that's one option if your flexibility is not so sound, and then lean forward like this. The second option also is to place a bolster underneath your chest if this is a little high, so that we're just actively and gently going into it, and you're coming down like this just to release off the shoulder gently first, okay? If you have a bit of flexibility, you can do the child's pose. Me and cushions are not agreeing. You can take that block and instead, if you can come back onto your knee, you can take that block and place it underneath your chest, if it's too deep for your chest open to start with, or under your head. And then if you're comfy, just come along with me. Take a few deep breaths here and relax up for as long as you want in these positions, okay? Once you feel a certain sense of release, then we're going to come into the next pose. Now the next pose, you're going to bring the same child's pose into it, but this time you're going to bring, you know this stretch that we do here, across. So you're going to thread the needle, bring the arm across, and then sink down, head to the side, and slowly sink back towards your hips. And you're going to feel a nice stretch here. Nice deep breath. So if I was to turn myself around, I'm here, sinking down, and then coming into this posture. Okay, and you're going to feel a nice stretch, palm facing up. And breathing deeply. I love this stretch. I think it feels amazing. And then coming across to the other side. Head down. Inhale and exhale. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Now from here, we're going to take it up onto all fours. Neutral back. We're going to extend up through the scapula. We're going to rotate from the upper back, not from the hips. And from here, if you are comfortable, extend the arm up. Then from there, you're going to turn the thumb down to come around to your back, and either place it here, looking up, or bring it to your hip bone or thigh, or grab onto a t-shirt. Make sure you rotate up. If your neck is comfortable, we can add a neck stretch. There must be no pain on your neck. Tuck your chin and then drop down. So first you look up if that's comfortable. Tuck your chin and look down. You get an extra nice stretch. So from the other side, after you release off, pushing up here, rotating through the scapulas, arm comes up. Okay, from here, drop your pinky down, rotate your back of your hand across your hip space, to the side of your hip, to your thigh, wherever it is. Keep that push up, keep that rotation, shoulder blades squeezed together, hips stay long, head looks up, pull your chin in, and if you're still comfortable, as long as there's no neck issues, drop your head down. Extra stretch. When we're doing that here, when I want you to make sure that you don't rotate your hips from side to side. It's all from pushing up in the shoulders, rotating through the shoulder blades in the upper region of your back. Chin is always tucked. And reverse it, so you're coming up, arm comes down, and then release. So this is a really great stretch. Now, take it to your level always as we do these stretches, okay? From here, you can grab a strap if you need to. We just want to be working into the shoulders. We're going to open the front of the shoulders. We've just been opening the back a little bit too. We want to have our legs bent here, so we're not going too aggressively into the hamstring. Now, the reason I have a strap is many people can't join their hands together, okay? So I'm joining my hands together and pushing my palms together, and then I'm bringing my arms overhead, right? And keeping the hips aligned like this. From here, we're going to bend the right leg, bring our right shoulder, rotate it to the right leg, and look up to the left. Nice stretch. I'm going to show you the alternative in a minute. So from here, I'm bending the left leg, okay? I'm just changing my grip. I'm bending the left leg, left shoulder comes to left knee, and looking up to the right. So that's just a little bit of an increase. Now, if you are struggling with this, you grab the strap here, and then you bring your hands overhead like this, okay? To your depth. So this is really up to you what depth you want to be. You could work your way closer, less close, keep the bend in the knees, do exactly the same thing. Rotation, and you can also do moving rotation. A really nice one to open up. From here, let us do a nice chest opener. So you're going to sit cross-legged, and from there, you're going to bring your hands behind you. I like to place them like this behind me, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and I'm going to push my hips forward, open my chest. Breathe deeply. Then release. And I like to swap if I'm doing cross-legged. So my hands are like this, swapping my cross of my legs. Push. And release. Lovely. From here, I like to also go into a couple of other stretches. So these stretches change from day to day, what feels better and what doesn't feel better. One of them that's a very old traditional one is just bringing the arm up, bending the elbow behind you and pulling the elbow down. This then leads into grabbing both hands behind you like this, but we don't need to stretch into that capacity if we don't have that. We can start here, and then as you get more flexible, you can go into bringing this elbow up the back and this elbow down the back. Keeping this posture tall is really, really important. So if you're rounding, you're not going to get the effectiveness of the stretch. Stay tall. And then you either do the same on this arm or cross the arms and join. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can lean forward with a straight back, okay? So finally, I have two more stretches for you. One old favorite is our puppy pose to open our chest. So bring your knees down, sink your hip and knee in a line, and then sink down. You might stay here. You might get your head down, nose, chin, or chest. Really up to you. If you find it extremely uncomfortable, you can actually either place this under your chest to support you, or under your head to support you and chin. And as you get more comfortable, you go deeper into the pose. So you can see that my hips and my knees are in line, and I'm wrapping my shoulder blades forward. The aim is to feel a nice stretch at the front, and I squeeze my shoulder blades. The most important thing is not to go this way. This is not effective. And the other thing to note, you don't really want the legs too wide. Okay, you don't want this position. You actually want to be about hip width apart. If you bring them too close together, it's very, very deep stretch. Not a lot of people have this capacity to do. So about hip
You can tuck if you want to, but don't sickle the ankles. And just breathe into it as you go through. And lastly, we have a nice little restorative pose. You can use 1 or 2 blocks. You bring the block underneath the top of your back, and from here, you lie down in a restorative fish pose. If you need another block, grab it. And if you want a tiny bit of movement, you can do some little snow angels, keeping your elbows and wrists on the ground. And here is a nice shoulder release exercises for you if you are struggling with your shoulders and they're feeling a bit uncomfortable. These are some of my go-to stretches. Namaste.